Hey there! Processing carnations is a lot similar to processing roses in that you'll stand them up on your work table and using your Victorinox florist knife with the innermost part of the blade, so the part of the blade that's closest to the handle, gently allow the weight of the downward motion to strip off the foliage, then cut the end of the stem at an angle and place into warm water with the correct amount of floral food. You'll use 1 scoop per gallon of water for the powder. Check out how to dethorn roses video at the little link up here to cross-reference if you'd like. You can process carnations 2 ways, either stripping the foliage by hand, then cutting, or stripping and then cutting entirely with the knife. I like to use the knife the entire time because essentially the knife becomes a part of my hand. This consolidated action cuts down time. By keeping the knife in hand, you'll save time and energy. As you get used to this, you'll start to feel a rhythm. Left hand picks up the flower, right hand strips the foliage and cuts. Left hand picks up the flower, right hand strips the foliage and cuts. I also like doing it this way because processing flowers is one of the most important pre-designed steps. I like to put as much care as I have the time for into processing. I treat it similar to arranging. If you're working on a large-scale job with a large quantity of flowers, this tedious care may not be of service to you. But as a beginner florist, taking your time and familiarizing yourself with the weight of the flower and how it feels when you hold it, how much give or pushback it has when you strip foliage and cut, how delicate or sturdy the material is, will help you inform your hands when arranging. If you're working on a large job, for efficiency, you would hold the entire bunch in one hand and strip the foliage off with your other hand, making sure no foliage is in the water to avoid bacterial growth and water murkiness. I generally fill a vase halfway or 2/3 full depending on how many carnations I'm processing. Then you would hold the whole bunch in one hand again, and the hand with the florist knife cut the entire bunch. The same principle applies where you'd cut at an angle, but this time making sure to cut both sides of the bunch at an angle, resulting in a kind of V shape. Much of the time, this is the way most shops will process because it's the most time efficient. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a tutorial of this way of processing carnations. I prefer to process carnations with the knife because it allows me to take off most of the foliage, creating a very clean stem. My designs are like sculptures, and for that reason, I treat the processing step similarly. I like to set my flowers up to be ready to go right into design. I want to do as little cleaning to the flowers as possible while I'm designing. Also, the more foliage you remove, the more hydration and energy will go to the main bloom, and it will help it to last longer as well. I typically only leave the top node foliage, maybe the second node down. These 2 nodes of foliage don't get in the way of my pavé designs, nor are they visible in the arrangement, which is what we want. As a final step, you'll lock in moisture with your Floral Life Finishing Touch spray. Give the bottle a vigorous shake, then mist 12 inches away from the flower, turning your vase as you mist so as to make sure all angles are covered. You'll want a fine mist, not saturated. You'll know you've gone too far if there's large droplets. Avoid large droplets as excess moisture can lead to rot. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more floral design education.